welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get the updates. Really excited for today's video. Beer's courtesy Hot Butcher for the world. Thanks so much for sending it. Really appreciate it. Trying to not look at the tasting notes, but it looks like it's a collaboration with Dry Hop Brewers. And this can art was the first can art that they had Dan Jetsa do. And they liked it so much, like, do you just want to do like all of our can art? And you can see why. I mean, his I love his style so much, and I could see like this, being the first that you get from him and being like, you're our guy. Just great can art. If you can't read and you didn't read the title, it's called Milkstachio. It's a milk stout brewed with cacao nibs and natural pistachio flavor, 6% ABV, and it is 3 weeks old to the day. Yeah, no, 1 day before that. Anyway, doesn't matter. Roughly 3 weeks. Yes, sir, I like you. I like you too, sir. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. Let's get into it. So, proper glassware. Point that out. It's a very dark brown color, almost like cola as you're pouring it. About half a finger, 3/4 finger of a light mocha head, small bubbles, some teeny tiny ones, and then just regular small. It's kind of funny, if you want the review, maybe skip a little bit ahead. Like earlier in the year, I kind of in my head, I was like, I got Hot Butcher figured out. They do these 7.5% double IPAs, have these, stupid, amazing mouthfeel. And then they, mess with hops in those. And then, okay, so they got these 10.5% big stouts, heavily adjuncted. All right. And, they do these milkshake IPAs. Yeah, okay. And then they got these triple IPAs. Okay. And then every once in a while they do like an odd thing, And now I'm just realizing that they do a lot of different things, Like I haven't had a stout from them like this, and we got a barley wine, just these definitely different styles, different lagers, things like that. And, I just kind of was trying to figure out, like, okay, they got some lanes where they kind of go to, and then they got these offshoots, and they have a lot of offshoots at this point where it's like, I shouldn't have put them in a box is the short version. And I'm really excited for this one because I do happen to really like pistachios, and I think that chocolate, the cacao will bring a nice chocolate to it. I think this is going to be something quite special. Let's get into the aroma. You do get a nice nuttiness. I don't think I would specifically say pistachio at this point, and there is, shocker, a nice bit of chocolate. You get a little bit of an earthy, like wet wood kind of a thing. Not barrel aged, but like you're outside and it had rain, like that kind of a thing. There's a nice sweetness. It is chocolatey, but then it is kind of like if you open up a bag of cacao nibs. I'm actually really liking what that chocolate's doing, that nuttiness. It's almost tricking my brain into thinking hazelnut. Because again, I'm not specifically getting pistachio at this time. It smells really good. Let's get to the taste. Cheers. It does come across a little bit more pistachio specific in the taste than just a generic nuttiness. That chocolate cacao mixing with this lighter milk stout, it's just funny because like I knew that ABV was much lower, and I knew it wasn't going to be super syrupy, and like what was it, maybe 3 I've had of their big 10.5% adjuncted stouts. Like, I knew I wasn't going to get that, but it also kind of was still lingering in my mind. This is, it's, how to describe it? It's like, I don't want to say something like a Guinness, but like, it's, I guess that's the closest I can think of. Not a nitro, obviously. And then you up the sweetness, you up the, I'm just trying to get like someone who hasn't had this beer before, like to kind of understand what's, what these flavors are. You kind of start with a non-nitro Guinness. So you got that lower ABV, but you still got that nice roast. You add a little bit more sweetness. You add that extra oomph of chocolate, and then you add a nuttiness. And again, at times it's very obviously pistachio, and other times it's just more of a generic nuttiness. So it's not thin, but it's thinner than these big syrupy stouts, obviously. The flavor is wonderful. You have that lower ABV. Obviously, you don't get any alcohol taste. And it's not savory. That's not the right word. It's refreshing, but not in a, like when I think of refreshing in a beer, it usually has like a lemony characteristic, for example. These aren't really flavors I think of as refreshing. You know, like they're kind of like desserting. I would think of them as potentially decadent. So it's kind of like this interesting, refreshing thing. It's really good. I really like what the nut. I mean, I love chocolate. But I really like what that nuttiness is doing with this base. It almost drinks kind of like a porter that way. That's cool. All right, what do they have to say? Yep, I mean pistachio, vanilla, chocolate. Vanilla. I mean, I guess because you have that lactose, I'm just getting the sweetness, but lactose does kick out vanilla quite a bit. Makes me curious what other people are saying about this beer if they get that vanilla. It's interesting. Oh, I just got a little bit of like a berry thing. This is good. I tell you what, like I knew what this beer wasn't, as I've said already, and I'm really pleasantly, I don't want to say surprised, but I'm happy with what this beer is. It's like, it's incredibly drinkable, but it's also, like I said, because it's refreshing, but it's also, it has enough where it does kind of like demand my attention too. It's not like a mindless chugger of a beer, but it does go down quickly. I could drink this very fast, but I would be like kind of taken out of those moments and be like, oh wait, no, like these are nice flavors, stop and appreciate them. And I think that kind of gets into that refreshing characteristic as well. Yeah, this is well done. This is good. I look forward to drinking the rest of this. It's a pretty cold night here, and I like stouts when the weather's cold. Thanks again for sending a Hot Butcher. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. I always appreciate that. Check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So always please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.